Welcome to the Operating Engineers Local 3 Journeyman Apprentice Training Center's Pre-Application Orientation. Operating Engineers Local 3 strikes a perfect balance between past and future. Formed in 1939, we now are the largest construction trades local in the United States, representing over 37,000 members across our 4-state jurisdiction of Northern California, Northern Nevada, Hawaii, and Utah. We represent a membership of hard-working, dedicated craftsmen who are constantly evolving their skills, while adhering to the vision our founders held. From humble beginnings, we grew, honoring working people's values and serving a highly trained workforce. The operating engineers are heavy equipment operators and mechanics, surveyors, construction inspectors, highway maintenance workers, police officers, and other public employees. We represent the men and women who drive this country's economy. We are part of the International Union of Operating Engineers, which was founded in 1896. IUOE today has approximately 400,000 members in 123 local unions throughout the United States and Canada. IUOE is the 10th largest union in the AFL-CIO. Over 100 state-of-the-art training and apprenticeship programs ensure that IUOE members are the safest, most productive, and highly skilled craft workers. The International Union of Operating Engineers is a progressive, diversified trade union that primarily represents operating engineers who work as heavy equipment operators, mechanics, and surveyors in the construction industry, and stationary engineers who work in operations and maintenance in buildings and industrial complexes, and in the service industries. IUOE also represents nurses and other health industry workers, a significant number of public employees engaged in a wide variety of occupations, as well as a number of job classifications in the petrochemical industry. Local 3's operators have been training at the Northern California Training Center since 1969. The apprenticeship trains about 900 apprentices at any given time. Depending on your chosen branch of training, the program will take between 4,400 and 8,400 hours of on-the-job training, with 560 hours of required in-class training. During this time, apprentices hone their trade by working in the field with fellow operators and periodically returning to school to develop new skills with the help of highly skilled instructors and the latest equipment. The Operating Engineers Local 3 Journeyman Apprentice Training Center, the JATC, is governed by the California Division of Apprenticeship Standards and Federal Apprenticeship Guidelines. The JATC is overseen by 2 union and signatory employer committees. Apprentices specialize in a specific field or branch during their training at the JATC. These are specific aspects of the construction industry that are covered under the Local 3's scope of work. The Northern California JATC trains 9 of these branches. Construction Equipment Operator. The equipment operator may operate a variety of power construction equipment, such as shovels, tractors, scrapers, or motor graders, to excavate, move, and grade earth, erect structural and reinforcing steel, and pour concrete or other hard surface paving materials. The equipment is operated in many ways, from adjusting levers and pedals to advanced computer-assisted machine controls. In addition to operating machines, an equipment operator may be required to perform the work tasks of a lubrication technician and/or a grade checker. Heavy-duty repair, HDR, is a construction equipment mechanic that maintains, diagnoses, repairs, and rebuilds all types of equipment found on a construction job, with an emphasis on large construction equipment. An HDR uses specialized tools, operates and inspects machines or equipment to diagnose defects, dismantles and reassembles equipment using hoists, hand, and powered tools, examines parts for damage or excessive wear using computer diagnostic equipment, micrometers, and gauges, Replaces defective engines and subassemblies, such as transmissions. Calibrates and tests overhauled equipment to ensure operating efficiency. Welds broken parts and structural members. Assists with assembly and disassembly of large equipment and cranes. HDRs are required to obtain and keep a Class B driver's license by their 3,000th hour. As an HDR, you will be required to have a minimum set of tools initially, and will have to purchase a large number of tools throughout your career. Mobile, vertical, and/or horizontal drilling operator. Drilling operators set up and operate boring machines to drill horizontal holes through earth banks for freeway support caissons, pillars, beams, walls for shoring high-rises, seismic retrofits, and other critical infrastructure projects. A drilling operator assembles and positions machines, augers, and casing pipes, assists operator in setting up the drill rig for production, operates the machine using levers, pedals, and/or computer-aided controls to rotate and feed augers into the earth, and simultaneously activates hydraulic rams that force casings into holes. Retracts augers and forces earth cuttings back through casings to permit coupling additional sections of casings and augers. May operate machines which flush and pump earth cuttings from holes. May operate boring machines that drive pilot holes through earth banks and pull auger bits back through banks to cut holes of required diameter. The mobile concrete pump operator tends one or more machines that pump concrete, grout, or dry mixtures of sand and cement through hoses to fill forms and crevices or to coat surfaces. Positions hose or temporary pipeline and snaps couplings together. Shovels materials into hopper using switches, levers, and/or pedals to discharge materials from skip into hopper, or signals concrete mixing truck driver to fill hopper with concrete. Moves controls to start and operate mixer. Starts pump or compressor, regulates air pressure and flow of materials through hoses. May aim hose nozzle into space to be filled or at surface to be coated. May lubricate and repair machinery. Cleans machine after pours. Crane operators operate traveling or stationary overhead cranes to lift, move, and position loads, such as machinery, equipment, products, and solid or bulk materials, using hoisting attachments, such as hooks, slings, electromagnets, or buckets. Observe load hookup and determine safety of the load. Manipulate crane controls to regulate speed and direction of crane and hoist movement according to written, verbal, or signal instructions. Clean and maintain crane and hoisting mechanism. Inspect crane for defective parts and notify supervisor of defects or malfunctions. May attach load to hook and/or other crane accessory prior to operating. Crane operators are required to have their Class A driver's license by their 3,000th hour. Dredge operators operate power-driven dredge to excavate and maintain navigable channels and waterways. Mine sand and gravel at the bottoms of lakes, rivers, and streams. Direct workers engaged in placing shore anchors and cables, laying additional lengths of pipe from dredge to shore, and in pumping waters from pontoons. Start and stop engines to operate equipment. Operate controls to place dredge in position for excavation, engage hydraulic pump, raise and lower section boom, and control rotation of cutter head. Lower anchor pole to verify depth of excavation using winch or scans depth gauge to determine excavation depth. Operate power winch that draws in or lets out cable to change position of dredge or pulls in and lets out cable manually. Plant operator. Rock, sand, and gravel. Operates concrete, asphalt, or sand and gravel plant to batch, crush, or segregate materials used in construction. Manipulates controls on panel board or control board to heat, dry, and mix ingredients, such as asphalt, sand, stone, and naphtha to produce asphalt paving materials. weighs and mixes aggregate, cement, and water to produce concrete, or to control feeding, crushing, and sifting machinery in sand and gravel plants. Observes gauges, dials, and operation of machinery to ensure conformance to processing specifications. May repair machinery using hand tools, power tools, and welding equipment. May be designated according to type of plant operated, such as asphalt plant operator, concrete batch plant operator, sand and gravel plant operator, or according to machine function as crusher operator. May be required to repair conveyor belts. Grade checker setter. Sets grade stakes to guide earth-moving equipment operators in sloping highways and filling embankments using measuring instruments and hand tools. Reads survey stakes along highway right-of-way to determine grade specifications for embankments. Measures horizontally and vertically in specified ratio from survey stake to juncture of embankment and initial excavation using survey rod and eye level. Sets grade stakes using hatchet and chalk marks excavation reference points on stake. Repeats measuring and staking at specified intervals to form horizontal stake line along embankment. Observes excavating activities to verify conformance to stake references and notifies equipment operators or supervisor of deviations. Construction lube technician. Maintains construction equipment in accordance with the manufacturer's requirements and/or company policies for an active preventative maintenance program. Checks oil levels, fuels, greases, and replaces cutting edges as required. Changes oils and filters on an hourly or mileage basis. Operates equipment to facilitate maintenance needs. May schedule required services and order fuels, oils, filters, and other supplies. Inspects equipment for defects that could lead to more severe failure and reports them to mechanics. Makes minor repairs and adjustments to equipment. Required to have a Class B driver's license by their 2000th hour. What are the qualities of a Local 3 operator? Professional. Local 3 members take pride in their jobs by doing it right the first time, without cutting corners. Dependable. Local 3 members are reliable employees who can be counted on. Team player. Local 3 members coordinate job site operations and work well with other operators and job site personnel. Safety conscious. Local 3 members put a value on safety in all aspects of the job, particularly when working with equipment that can harm them and others around them. Highly trained. Local 3 members are held to a higher standard of qualification. Committed. Local 3 members have loyalty and dedication to their union brothers and sisters, as well as to their jobs. There are many reasons not to do this job. Being realistic about the challenges can help ensure your success. We want you to enter this program knowing what you may encounter in this industry. Travel. Where is the work? As an operating engineer, you will travel to work anywhere within your home district. You may travel for your company to any of the other districts across the 46 Northern California counties of Operating Engineers Local 3. You may work in other districts if work slows down in your own district. Working outdoors. What this really means. If you want a job that allows you to work outdoors, this industry is a great option. Be aware that operating engineers are expected to work in all weather conditions, from 100 degrees plus to rain, hail, and snow. Often, you may find yourself without a climate-controlled environment. Unpredictable hours. Real hours of operation. Working hours will fluctuate with every job site. Overtime, night work, and weekend hours are all very common. Overtime is a reality of this profession. Often, you will be expected to work overtime and weekends with very little notice. Physically demanding work. More than pulling levers. Many aspects of this career are physically demanding. You may find yourself working in awkward positions, repeatedly lifting heavy objects, operating heavy equipment on rough terrain, mounting and dismounting from equipment, and constant exposure to hazardous noise, just to name a few. Encountering stress. I can't stress this enough. This career can be accompanied by stressful situations, high value, high profile jobs, high production environments, tight timelines, simultaneous job site operations, hazardous worksite environments. These factors can all contribute to stressful work atmospheres, and operators must be able to overcome these situations. Following rules. It's your job. Local 3 operators are required to abide by the bylaws of OE3, follow employer policies and procedures, adhere to OSHA laws, comply with the rules and regulations of the apprenticeship program.
Your responsibilities as an apprentice. Complete initial training. Complete supplemental related training. Attend 4 quarterly and 2 semi-annual union meetings. Participate in VOTE program. Be available for work when needed. And abide by the 21 rules and regulations of the JATC.
What to expect as a first-year apprentice. Be open to taking direction and learning from experience, no matter the task. Understand the possibility of working for several companies and crews. Realize that you will not be in the operator's seat as often as you would think. Acknowledge that sometimes learning involves getting dirty. Mistakes will be made. Learn from them.
Apprentice wage rates. After completing your initial training, each period includes hours worked and 80 hours of classroom training to achieve your scheduled increase, which is also dependent on the branch you are in. Local 3 operators also have a negotiated wage increase every June.
Our impressive union benefits. Your fringe package includes health care during and after your career, a pension, which is your monthly paycheck after retirement, training funds that allow you to be trained at the JATC during the life of your career without out-of-pocket cost, and all vacation, holiday, and sick pay deposited directly into your account monthly.
How do I get in? To be accepted into the training program, you need to complete this online orientation, submit your application, pass the assessment test, which is conducted every 2 to 4 weeks, pass 2 oral interviews, which are conducted as needed, pass your substance abuse test, and complete initial training, which is usually held March through September.
Worth the wait. It may take several years to gain entry into the apprenticeship program, depending on assessment scores, the economy, and work projections in your district. We only accept as many apprentices as we feel the work outlook supports. Basic applicant qualifications. You must be at least 18 years old when you start the apprenticeship training program. You must pass the assessment test, possess a valid California driver's license, and be a resident of Northern California. What happens after I submit an application? Currently, assessment testing is conducted monthly, and oral interviews are held as needed. You will be notified by mail of the date and time of your assessment test or oral interview. Keep your contact information current. All changes must be submitted in writing by mail. Your application will be canceled if we are unable to contact you by mail or you do not appear for a test or interview as scheduled.
During initial training, you are instructed by skilled, experienced operators. Class size is usually 6 students per instructor. We offer on-campus accommodations, which you are encouraged to use. Classes start at 7 a.m. and end at 3:30 p.m., Monday through Friday. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner are provided during training. Classroom time with the apprenticeship is unpaid. Be prepared to be without pay during the initial training. During the initial training, you will receive a 10-hour OSHA safety training and first aid training. Apprentices will learn about labor history and the rules and regulations of both the apprenticeship and our union. Apprentices will then be trained on the basic knowledge of their branch, both in the classroom and during hands-on field training.
How much does it cost? There is no tuition to attend Local 3's apprenticeship. In order to access our curriculum, you will need a laptop or tablet, or you may purchase a tablet from us. After your 5th week of training, you will be required to officially join operating engineers and pay union initiation fees and quarterly dues. Ask yourself, is this what I want my career to be until I retire? Am I willing to put in the time and work this profession requires? What branch of training is the best choice for me? Am I willing to commute? Am I willing to work flexible hours? Am I able to work outdoors in extreme weather conditions? Answer these questions honestly, and if you know you will be an extraordinary addition to our Operating Engineers Union, then fill out your application to get started. After watching our presentation, it is our hope that you have a better understanding of what a career as an operating engineer requires and what we look for in our candidates. So, how do you get your application? Email your application request to applications@oe3jac.org. The subject line must read, "I want to be an operating engineer." The body of the email must contain your full name, your current address, your email address, and the 6-digit number you were asked to write down during the presentation. If becoming an operating engineer does not appeal to you, but you still want to work in a trade, then visit calapprenticeship.org. If you have any questions about our program, please contact the Training Center at 916-354-2029 or email at applications@oe3jac.org. Subject: Questions.